Good morning. Today we have James Keatings with us, player for Raith Rovers. So good morning, James.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm perfect, thank you. When did you start playing football?
Probably boys club level. Like obviously, when I was growing up, I started kicking the ball about when I was 5, 6. My dad would say at a very young age. So at boys club level, probably started with Wickham Wanderers when I was 8 years old to I was like 9, 10, and then from then on I went kind of pro youth with Celtic and Aberdeen, and just kind of kept going from that age through the kind of youth ranks till I got a professional contract at 15 with Celtic.
Who inspired you when you were younger? So when you started playing football when you were about 5, 8 and stuff, who inspired you? You said, I want to be like them when I grow up.
My first ever player I kind of looked up to was Henry Larsson. So he was obviously amazing, absolute legend at Celtic. So I just kind of watched him, obviously all the players at Celtic, and he was the one I kind of always wanted to be like.
It makes sense. You've grown up in Celtic and everything. What does football mean to you in your everyday life?
I think obviously for a young age when you start off, like that's been my life. I've never had worked anywhere else. I've never had to do anything else. I've always just been drilled as football for a young age. My father was massive on it. Would have me out every single day for a few hours after he finished work. He was off. We'd be down the park playing, and he'd have cones out and stuff like that. So it was just that's just been basically my life from day one. Like that's all I've known, and till now, till I'm 29, like this is the point where I don't know anything else. I've never kind of took up anything else, so that's my life.
Did you always, since you were younger, did you always want to take it professional level, take football to professional level, or did you ever think of taking another career path instead?
No, that was the only pathway for me. I kind of, when I look back now, I wish I had maybe stuck in a wee bit more at school, because that was the only thing I focused on when I was young, was football. Obviously when you're young you miss out on a lot, like you sacrifice like time with your friends and getting night outs, parties and stuff like that, because you've got the game on a Saturday and parties on a Friday night. So for a young age I missed out on a lot, learned about my friends and my school friends as well. So I was very like, my dad was on me for it, so he kind of drilled me like to make sure I was focused. So at a young age I kind of focused on that, and that was the only way for me.
You signed for Celtic in 2003 and worked your way through the academy until you left to go on loan to St Johnstone. What's it like to get the opportunity to develop with an academy like Celtic's?
It's massive. You don't realise what you've actually got until you actually leave Celtic. For me, for all the young players there, you're spoiled. You've got everything you want. You've got all the best nutrition. You've got all the best support and help with sports science, coaches, facilities to build you into the best player you could be. For me, it was amazing. It was, as an attacking player when you're at Celtic, teams like that, you're attacking constantly. You're on the front foot, and obviously as a forward player you get a lot of chances. You're enjoying football. You're seeing a lot of the ball, and just the coaches and that as well, the facilities, the pitches we trained on, and obviously being at a club where I get brought up supporting, so I loved every minute.
Did you feel like you were encouraged from the first day you started with Celtic?
Yeah, I felt as if I was in, obviously I was 10-year-old, really young, like started off so like a couple of nights a week, like we would train and have games. It was 7-a-side still at that time, so it was all about just enjoying it. But even at that you still got the encouragement, the help. The coaches were amazing, until you get to the age of kind of 15, 16, that's when it starts getting proper serious. That's when it becomes a job, like you're fighting for that contract and then the next contract after you get one. So for then, when I went in full time, it was like, it became tough to start with, readjusting to every single day having football, having the pressures. It's a job. You're having to get better than the person in front of you to get yourself into the under-19s team and then push up to the 20s reserves. and then obviously later on getting into the first team squad and training and hoping for a chance. It was tough, but it was a great club to start out at.
Was it easy to adapt your school life to your football life when you were younger, so having to go to training every day but still having to do all your schoolwork and stuff?
I don't think I've done much schoolwork, to be honest. I kind of just focused on the football. If I could go back now, looking back on it, and my dad was massive in football. He more pushed me towards the football. Obviously my mum wanted the school stuff and that, but for myself, if I could go back now, obviously when I was young, football was everything, schoolwork was nothing to me. So now I look back, I think to myself, every bit of advice for any young boy out there starting off is still focus on your education. That's massive. Obviously I'm getting to later on in my career, I'm 29 now, like I'm now thinking about the future after football now, whereas when you're young you can actually get to study and learn more things that will help you further on your career. So definitely for young ones, focus on your education.
You made your professional debut on the 5th of February 2012 whilst you were on loan for St Johnstone. What did it feel to get the opportunity to make your debut in the SPFL at a young age?
It was amazing. It was Tynecastle, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Away to Hearts. Just the atmosphere. Obviously I had been on the bench for Celtic's first team at Tynecastle before that, and just been amongst like the grown men, like the first team football, the tempo, the strength of them, and just getting a wee taste for it was amazing. Like having the 6 months at St Johnstone helped me a lot. Like just seeing how come a Saturday the tempo, how strong our defenders and stuff like that, from me coming from youth level to first team level, it's a massive step, and it was a great insight, and I really enjoyed it.
After finishing your contract with Celtic, you went on to trial for 2 Australian teams. You got offers there, but you decided to sign a 1-year contract with Hamilton Academical. What made you decide, after going all the way to Australia trial, to stay in Scotland and play for Hamilton?
Yeah, it was difficult. I went out over to Australia for a month. I went myself. I think that was a big thing. Like I think I maybe should have took like a family member with me. It was pretty hard. I was in a hotel for a month myself, kind of training, and the style of football, the way they live over there was amazing. I think just at the age I was at, 20, I was thinking to myself, if I went there was kind of no road kind of back. So when I was over there, it was amazing. Like maybe I could have done it, but I decided like Hamilton was the best shout to get my foot in the door in professional football, my first kind of start, and at that time Hamilton had a really good squad, and I felt that was the right choice for me.
That's what I was going on to ask. Do you regret it now, or do you feel like it was the best decision you could have made at that point, at that age?
No, I don't have many regrets in football, and I thought that was definitely the right decision, just to go back to Scotland, get my foot in the door, and kickstart my career.
In the 2014 season, you won the championship, achieving promotion to SPFL with Hearts, and 2 years later went on to do the same thing with Hibs. How much work is there behind 2 great seasons like those 2?
It's massive. It's dedication. It's the drive, and it's the change room you're in is massive. Like the character, the people, the players round about you who want to actually help you. Like a tight group where everybody's pushing each other, and they know when somebody's maybe off a wee bit, the help you get from other players. And you don't see it much in football, like the changing room. I've been in many changing rooms, and it's the change rooms that make good teams. The players round about you, like the days in training, and just the way things go. It's quite hard to explain. Like obviously you get good changing rooms, but like, winning changing rooms are a squad really tight together, pushing each other, helping each other. And it takes a lot, like backroom staff as well, like managers, coaches and stuff, like doing the extra bits with you, giving you the small details before games, and all the hard work put in. Like winning's the hardest thing in football. It's never easy. That's definitely the hardest thing to do, and the 2 seasons were unbelievable.
Do you think pressure builds up towards the end of that season as you're nearly there achieving the goal? In this case, it was a promotion to SPFL.
Yeah, obviously you start the season, you set your targets, and when you get to around about Christmas time, you see where you're sitting, you see how close, where you need to go from then, and obviously sitting top of the league when I was at Hearts, and we had a good lead, and you just had to keep the foot to the ground and keep going, picking up points and pushing the rest away. And it was kind of the same at Hibs. It was just about kicking on and keeping consistent. Obviously making sure the boys were not picking injuries up and keeping the squad as fit as we could and as strong as it could, and just keep going out every single week with the same hunger you had at the start of the season and winning games to get it over the line.
I think that's probably the best advice, to keep going as if it was the first game of the season. Don't let your pace drop down just because you're getting tired going towards the end.
Yeah, definitely.
In the 2015-16 season, you won the Scottish Cup with Hibs after coming on as a second half substitute in the 65th minute when Hibs were 2-1 down. What does it feel to be on the pitch, getting that comeback to later on lift the trophy?
I think obviously before the game, like a Scottish Cup final, as a young boy, that's the games you dream of. You're in the back garden, kidding on, you're playing in these games. So for me, like that's a memory I've got in football just now. That's my top memory. Like that's the height of all heights, like for me so far. And what if I can maybe go on and top that in the next few years? But going on to that game was emotional, like level, nervous a wee bit, and stuff like that, having family, knowing what it was for, and then obviously we were 2-1 down, knowing I had to go on and try and have an impact in the game and help my teammates, and obviously we managed to turn that around and win 3-2, and it become amazing scenes after, and for a week or 2 weeks after that was amazing memories.
That Scottish Cup was also like really good for Hibs at the point because it'd been so long since the last time they'd won one. Do you feel like that made it even more special?
Yeah, obviously leading up to the game the week before, it was all the fans just you'd see reminders like on social media in 114 years, like that's all they wanted was this Scottish Cup, and what it meant to them. I don't think as a player before it, when you're reading those messages, I didn't really realise how much it would have meant until after the final whistle went and you see grown men on the pitch in tears, the way people are coming up, kissing you, like just so happy. And for the weeks after that, like you still had the reminders, and even to this day you still get the odd Hibs fan, like I see, like if I'm out of that, they'll always say like thanks for that day at Hampden, like you made that amazing and stuff like that. Like that's something, and as a player that's what you want to give. You want to give the fans the best memories possible.
Definitely. On the 25th of May 2017, Dundee United announced that you were joining the club. This was a tough season for you both mentally and physically, and in a year in which the club never achieved the promotion in SPFL. What did you feel throughout that season, and what went through your head as the year went on?
It was probably an eye-opener for me that season. Obviously, I had the chance to stay at Hibs for another 2 years. I decided to make the decision to sign for Dundee United for a bit more game time and a new challenge. I thought I needed at that point, but I didn't. Obviously, you don't know the way football's going to plan out. You want it to be all roses and happy, scoring goals every single week and winning every single week, but never quite goes like that. But that season was tough. Obviously, I had off-the-field problems, like mental health issues, like I had a wee depression, and just kind of football was the last kind of worry in my mind at that point in my life. Then I picked up an injury with my hip, I had to get operated on, and to be fair, it came at a point where I needed a bit of time away from football, so with that injury and having to get the operation, it gave me a few months to be able to go and seek help which I needed at that stage of my life, and get myself better, and obviously get focusing on rehab and getting the hunger back to want to go back on the pitch and actually kick on. And it's a season I always kind of look back on, because sometimes you can take football for granted, and at that stage in my career, like, it was a kind of a marker for me. Like, I had lost kind of a bit of love, a bit of drive, a bit of hunger for the game, and I kind of found myself a bit lost, as you would say. So for me, it was difficult, but I seek to help, and I feel much better for it. I took many steps and got myself back up, and I'm getting there.
It's definitely great that you've been able to pick yourself back up, and you've not stayed stuck in that year. You've moved on and you've gone on to do stuff with other clubs.
Yeah.
And after 2 great seasons with Inverness, you signed a pre-contract with Raith Rovers in March. What led you to making that decision to join Raith for the next 2 seasons?
Obviously, after speaking with the manager here, obviously playing against the club also, like the way they played last season, I mind coming here in a cup game, it stands out, and there's not many games in my career where I've played against an opponent. It's like you can't get the ball off them, they're playing really good football. The style of the game, obviously in Scotland, you don't really see it outside kind of the old firm or the top teams where they dominate a game so much. And the cup game here, when we came out with Inverness, like, they popped us off the pitch for the first 45, and it was a real eye opener. And then just speaking to the manager, he's a really intelligent manager who wants to play the game the right way, wants to do it the right way, and I thought it was the right decision to make. Obviously, moving back down for Inverness as well, to be worried about family. Obviously, lockdown was a bit tough being up there, when no one could come up and stuff like that. So getting back down the road was a big factor as well, and being back in the Central Belt and having family around about us.
That's what I was going to say. Do you feel like that influenced you a lot? So obviously up in Inverness with COVID, travelling restrictions, you couldn't really come home and see family, or they couldn't come up and see you. Do you think that influenced on you? If you were playing in Fife, for example, you were closer to home and you could do what you're doing right now, you're commuting back and forth.
I think it's massive. Obviously, the first year up in Inverness was amazing. Obviously, my dad would travel up, other family members would travel up every 2 weeks or every week, kind of weekend, for the games and stuff. So we would have people round about us, but once it went to lockdown, it become difficult, like not seeing anyone for many months and stuff like that. So that was massive in the decision of being down here, being settled again, and just driving to training and then being able to go back home to your family after it.
Definitely. How have you found your first couple of weeks as a Rovers player?
Yeah, obviously it's been good to get in the door. It's been hard pre-season, really tough on the body and stuff like that. I wish I could have got off to a better start in the pre-season games, getting a goal. Every striker or forward player wants to get that goal to just lift the kind of burden, and it makes you more relaxed, and it makes you actually feel like you've landed. But I know I just have to kind of keep working hard just now and get through the period of pre-season and get my sharpness. Obviously I had a long kind of end of the season compared to the rest of the boys here, so I'm a wee bit behind when we first started back, but I know it's just have to put the hard work in, and that'll come, and hopefully the goals will come along with that and give me the confidence to keep going.
Definitely. Like, you've had, I think you've played in the past 4 games I think, and even just getting on like that starter team as you've just joined and everything, you'd want to get the goal, but like you said, they will come. And
yeah, it's one of the things. Obviously, you start at a new club, you want to get that first goal. That gives you the forward player breeds out, get their confidence from goals and assists and stuff like that. And at the moment, I've not really had one chance in 3 games, so it's just about trying to get that chance, hit the net, and kick on for there, and being patient, obviously not getting too hung up on it. I think a couple of games to start with I was getting too hung up on it and chasing it too much, but it's football. You go out there, work hard and hope for something to drop. A lot of quality players in this team will take chances, I just need to get in the end of them.
What impact do you think that Raith supporters can have on a great season?
Obviously, going off last season when you didn't have fans at all, personally I thought it was the worst season I've been involved in. We take away fans, football's never the same. It's hard to kind of motivate yourself out there. It's like walking out to a friendly every week and stuff like that, but we're good to obviously hopefully get more and more fans back this season, hopefully get full stadiums here in Scotland, and hopefully us as players can deliver and give them happy moments and see where the season takes us.
Hopefully. You scored 5 goals with Inverness last season. How well do you think you can link up with Lewis throughout this season in that forward position?
Yeah, obviously Vaughan, he's a very good player, very intelligent player. He showed over the years, obviously he's had a few injuries, but it shows his character. He's came back and he's shown how quality a player he is, and he's kept driving himself. So it's good for me to see how intelligent he is. I just need to get round about him. The more we play together, the more we'll get to know each other, and hopefully we can keep doing the stuff we're doing in training and take it into the games and get this club a lot of goals.
And hopefully it is, because last season was really great, and I'm sure most of the supporters are looking to see that again this season. Hopefully get promotion this season, because they were so close to it last one.
That's it. It's obviously standards of last season, how good the club done, and they want to do better than that this season.
What message do you want to send out towards Rovers fans for the upcoming season?
Obviously come back, enjoy it. The most important thing is coming and supporting the club they love, and getting behind the team and give us as much support as you can, and enjoy it, and hopefully we can deliver.
You've had the opportunity to represent Scotland at under 16, under 17 and under 19 level. What does it feel to get the chance to represent your country at youth levels?
Yeah, obviously it's amazing. You always see players on the TV, obviously at first team level, talking about how good it is to put on the jersey, your national jersey, and obviously as a young boy I done that. Felt good, scored a few goals, felt amazing. And it is special, like obviously out of all the players in Scotland, you're getting picked at a young age to go there and play in tournaments all over, play against the best players in other countries and stuff like that. So it's an amazing experience, so it was, and one I really enjoyed.
And just to finish up, what do you think is the best thing football has given you throughout your whole career?
It's to be memories. Like the day I hang the boots up, I'll always look back and all the memories, the experiences like which I've came through, and winning cups. Obviously there's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but these are all memories. These are all stand you in good stead for the future.
Is there anything you regret at all from your career?
I wouldn't say so. I kind of go with it, like make the decisions. Football's football, you need to go out there, work hard, believe in yourself, have the confidence to knowing each Saturday you can go out there and perform and do your best for the team.
And to be fair, from every decision anyone makes in life, not just you in football and everything, there's going to be good and bad stuff to it. So you can't say you regret doing something because something bad happened. If you look at the good side, there are probably more good moments and bad moments throughout that decision you made.
Yeah, definitely. Football is high and low. Like the decisions you make on a pitch, like you can make a bad pass 6 times in a game, and that one you make the right decision gives you the biggest high in the game. Like it comes to a goal or something like that. That's the way football is, and it's full of highs and lows. But regrets wise, I don't have any, and I go out like each day, try to do my best, be my best, and as I said, like obviously you want to get more highs, but you need to find the middle ground. You're always going to get the lows in football and in any sport kind of thing. So once you find the middle ground, then you don't get too high, you don't get too low, and just try and stay consistent.
I just want to say thank you very much for agreeing to do this with me. It's like a huge thing for me, so thank you very much
for
coming along.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.